Welcome back to Mike's Man Cave and welcome back to another video. Today is the beginning of spring. Well, sort of anyway. We've got the 15th of September today and I think officially it's the 28th of September that spring starts. So we're getting in early this year because last year we got in late and we missed out on a lot of the stuff and we didn't get a full crop of different things because we left it a little bit late. Now we went to Bunnings today and I will just quickly show you around to see what we actually bought. We also went to the local gardening centre and we got a few things from there. So let's have a quick look around what we've got and what we'll be doing with it. Of course we're going to do stuff in the garden. And the second I turned on the camera, it started to rain. It wasn't raining before I turned the camera on. So that's just standard, I guess, but let's not worry about that. Let's see what we're doing today. We went to Bunnings and we bought some soil. This is pretty good stuff. It's all-purpose potting mix. And I think it was less than $4 a bag, which is about the cheapest that I've seen anywhere. Now there's some fertiliser that we bought at Aldi last year. And there's another lot of fertiliser that was also, I believe, from Aldi. Whenever I see it cheap, I'll just buy a bucket because you always need fertiliser. We've also got some sugarcane mulch. The bag's already open and some of it has already gone into our garden. And we'll have a look at that later if the rain ever stops. We bought ourselves some brand new tomato cages. And we'll see how they go. I've never used them before. There's still some leftover fertiliser from last year, dynamic lifter, some more fertiliser there, also from Aldi. We got ourselves a new watering can, and the reason we bought that is because we bought some liquid fertiliser and some seaweed liquid, which you mix up 9 litres. I think it's 20 mil for 9 litres or whatever, 35 mil, depending on what you're using it for. And this one's similar, but it is based on 9 litres. So we bought these today as well. They were roughly $10 each and we'll be using those. These are seeds we got. They were literally, I think, $1 each from Aldi, Garden Line. And we got this one here from Bunnings, iceberg lettuce. Remember the lettuce prices? Well, we're going to grow some lettuce hopefully. Now this was also at Aldi. Garden Line asparagus. Now this looks very strange, but apparently once you plant asparagus, you harvest asparagus for about 20 years. And I love eating asparagus. So we bought all they had at Aldi. There's 5 there, and there was another one that I bought yesterday. So we've got 6 of these. And we will show you how to plant those a bit later on. So 1 crown in each bag. We got some dwarf butter beans, eggplants. Now we got this one here because Jessie wanted it, lavender, and I think she's going to plant it in that pot there. We've got some tomatoes, and this stuff here was another Jessie purchase. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out. And there's some more greens. This is all stuff that we'll eat ourselves, and we will also be planting those seeds. So let's get stuck into that. Now there's some avocado trees that have survived the winter, which is good to see. That's some lemon trees which we'll be selling off. And there's our little makeshift greenhouse that we bought from Bunnings, and that has saved my Carolina Reaper chilies and made them survive winter. We'll have a look at those in a second. There's some bonsai starters there, some kumquats. That's the new acquisition that we've just got. That's Jessie's succulents, they're going crazy. And this is some stuff that's actually survived winter. We're going to have to sort all this out and repot it. Well, some of it obviously didn't survive, but we've got basil. Believe it or not, they're tomatoes, and there's some tiny little tomatoes on there. I'm not sure what the go is there. These are just some plain old chili plants, peppermint, parsley, and more parsley. Different strains of parsley, obviously. Now there's our greenhouse, our mini greenhouse, and that's some spring onions that are growing in the back there. These are the Carolina Reaper chilies, and as you can see, we've got 5 left that survived winter, and we actually repotted these yesterday into bigger pots. So So I'm going to leave them in the greenhouse a little bit longer, and then they will come out once the sun comes out, and hopefully we'll get some Carolina Reaper chilies. And these things have got a nice head start. I thought they were going to die, but they did survive winter. Now all those there, they are macadamia nut trees that have been planted just recently. There's 40 of them there. There's some more avocado trees starting to sprout up. And there's some macadamia nut trees we planted a few months ago, and they're starting to pop up there. So again, they're getting a good head start. And along here, there's more avocado trees in the green pots. And on the bottom shelf here, these 4 are avocado trees waiting to come up, and all these are capsicums. We do like capsicums, so I've planted a fair few, and they went in 2 or 3 days ago. So we're getting a good head start, getting in nice and early this year. I'm not missing out again. Vegetables are getting too expensive. Now once this rain stops, hopefully it hasn't settled in for the day, I'll take my camera out to where the garden beds are, and I'll show you what's happening out there. Unfortunately, I'm not taking my camera out in the rain because these things are not cheap. Well, what Jessie's doing, she's repotting some of these into bigger pots because I don't think they're ready to go on the garden beds yet. We're splitting those up and putting them into bigger pots like that and like that, so they can get a bit of a head start before they go out into the garden beds. Still a little bit cold at night, so we're going to plant them and keep them sheltered before they go out into the wilderness. The lavender's been planted. I'm not really sure what the point of lavender is, but everyone in this family apart from me wants lavender.
It's a mum's idea.
It's mainly mum's idea, yeah.
And then
you're
I
right
saw
there.
it, and then I'm like, we should get mum a plant.
Well, that's mum's plant that we're going to be looking after.
Yeah. Oh, look at the roots.
They're red and white.
Pink.
Pink and white. Wow. That'll be interesting to see what happens there. Keep them as one, see how they go. We've now repotted all our seedlings that we bought, and this is where they'll be staying until they're strong enough to go out in the garden beds. This is a really good spot for them. They stay right here because they get the morning sun. The sun comes up over there, so they'll get the morning sun till about 11 o'clock, which will be perfect. Now the rain has slowed down, so let's take a look at the garden beds. These are the garden beds that we've got set up, and there hasn't been a lot happening over winter. These are just some plants that we've had sitting there. There's some weeds growing there. These are lemon trees that we've been growing, and they have survived the winter out here, and I've just put some mulch down the other day. These are our chili plants, and they need to be cut right back very shortly. This garden bed's got nothing, and here's another garden bed that's had some trees over winter, and these are macadamia trees that we've been growing, and those things there, they're black currants that Jessie has planted. And there's some slightly bigger macadamia trees, and they've overwintered out here, and these are ready for summer. These have just been repotted into bigger pots. These were only just planted yesterday, and some of these were repotted yesterday as well. There's nothing in this garden bed or that garden bed apart from weeds. We need to sort that out. And this was mulched the other day, and that's a pineapple plant. And it has divided, so hopefully we'll get a couple of pineapples this year. We'll see how that goes. There's nothing in there yet, and this is where I'll be planting the asparagus. I'm hoping to get this in before it starts throwing it down raining again. So that was mulched yesterday. There's some mulch still there, some extra mulch. There's some horse manure there, nice and fresh. And that will all be blended into the soil before we plant the asparagus. So all that mulch will be dug into the soil. So you'll see how I do that shortly. And then we'll hopefully be planting the asparagus. If not today, we'll be planting it tomorrow.